Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dave from NetcodeGuides.com, and today we're going to talk about CLG, and we're going to go into their match versus Envy on Inferno, talk about their players a bit, talk about what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and their strengths and weaknesses. Before we go into the analysis of the game, we're going to talk about their players as individuals and who I think are their best players from top to bottom, their strengths and weaknesses, what type of roles they play, and things like that. So let's get started. I think their best player is Tarek by far. I think this is no secret. He has an incredible ability to aim and use his movement to make him hard to kill. He knows how to peek places. He knows how to frag, and he's one of the players that can consistently challenge or win gun battles against the best aimers in the world, like Shroud, like Dupree, like like Forrest and things like that, and Get Right. And all of these incredible players, like he is on that same level, and he really sets himself up on T side, to get a lot of frags too. He has like a good role on T side to get frags, so his stats are always looking good. And on CT side, he plays solo sites usually, like Mirage. He plays B, Inferno. He plays B. Dust 2 he plays B, and he's really good on CT side, like really good, like because he has good positioning, he has good awareness of when to peek, and once he gets a kill, he knows where the next kill is going to be. So for instance, if he's at B site on Dust 2 and he kills a guy window, he knows where to look next. He knows if he should look tunnel, if he should look door, and that's based off a lot of things. That's based off what his teammates are watching, what his, how many calls he gets of how many people are coming mid B, etc, etc. But anyways, he's very good at transitioning to one kill to the other and having that game sense, along with his great fragging ability. So I think Tarek's their best player. He's really good against American players as well. Like he smashes a lot of the lower tier teams and like just completely dominates them. So he gets them through a lot of the North American lands and things like that. Against Europeans, he's just getting better and better every time he plays. So yeah, he's their best player. Their second best player, you guys might think this is unusual. You might not know this, but I think me and most other like high level players would agree that Cutler is probably their second best player. I think it's close with him and Hazed for that second best spot, but I'd actually put Cutler above him. And Cutler he's kind of like a TCK in my mind, but just a better version. He's not flashy, Like I don't even know if I've ever seen a frag highlight clip of Cutler, and it's kind of a little bit of a shame for Cutler because he opted for like the first like 2 years in CS:GO, and just this past year or so he's been rifling, or maybe a year and a half. I don't know the timeline exactly, but you'd have to ask him. And it's kind of a shame because honestly, no offense, Cutler, but you were a pretty bad operator. All right, you're not a good operator, okay? And if you would have switched to rifling earlier, your team probably would have accomplished a lot more because of what you add to your team. If you're watching this, like as a rifler, he's very solid. Okay, he holds his spot very well on CT side. He doesn't have like the most exceptional aim, but he has good aim, and it's definitely proven by his deagle. He has a really good deagle. But he knows how to play positionally very well. He seems like a very intelligent, smart player, and I know he communicates. So he pretty much has the whole package as far as everything is concerned for just being a good player. He just doesn't have that star ability, but that's fine. You don't need everyone to have star ability, Like he holds his spot, he plays prime positions, like proper positions, and he's not going to get abused or anything like that. And he plays smart Counter-Strike, and it really doesn't seem like he has an ego either. Like, he's not re-peaking a lot and things like that, which is one of the main reasons he doesn't get the frag highlights, because really to get frag highlights you need to re-peak a lot. He's more of that guy where he's in pit on Inferno, he gets 2 kills, he hides, his teammates come, shoot one in the back, and then his frag highlight, if he made one, would be him getting a 3 kill. Okay, after he kills 2, hides, and then kills another one like in the back or something, So frag highlights aren't really there, so that's probably kind of one of the reasons he's so underrated. But he's honestly, if I gave like an underrated NA player, chart tier list of underrated NA players, he might be at the top. So I'm very high on him. I think he's their second best player, and that's no slight to him because I think Tarek's like an exceptional player. I think he's in the tier 1 list of top NA players. Next we have Hazed, and I think Hazed and Cutler are very close into how good they are. I think Hazed is a really good player as well, but I think he's a very different player. Hazed has more of that star quality mentality where he re-peaks a lot more and things like that. I actually think it would be better if he didn't do that so much. But the thing about him is that his playstyle is so reliant on, and it has to be because of the spots he plays on CT on peaking. So when you play those spots, you tend to re-peak a little bit too much, and he probably does it a little bit too much. And I guarantee if he's watching this, he would agree with me that he gets caught out a little bit. But the thing is, when you're in those spots where you play connector on Mirage or you play porch on Inferno, you kind of get in the habit of it, because a lot of the time in those spots, if you don't re-peak and you don't try to get that second kill, a lot of the time you run away from your spot and you actually die. Like for instance, if you're at porch on Inferno and you get a kill of someone coming up porch and you try to run back to site, a lot of times someone just peeks you while you're running back to site and they kill you. So I don't really fault him for that at all. But he does definitely have that more like star player mentality than a guy like Cutler, where he's gonna go for more frags and get his FPR higher and probably peak a little bit more than someone like Cutler. But I think he's a really solid player. I think on CT side, he's so good when he just posts up. Like whenever you see him post up, he almost always gets the kill. Like he always gets that kill. He's like gonna give you that instant, like use 3 or 4 bullets and get that kill with the silenced M4. So he's really good at that, and that's a really good, you know, attribute or whatever to have, because you need those players on CT side who can confidently get that very first kill from being posted up and just get that instant kill. Because when you're able to consistently get that first kill at this level of play, usually you could rely on your teammates and your ability to know what you could do on the follow-up after you get that kill in order to secure the round. So that's definitely his greatest strength as a player. Definitely. Like him posting up with a silenced M4 on CT side, on porch on Inferno or something like that, and just killing the guy that peeks him, or whatever. So anyways, I'm pretty high on him. He's like 3rd best player on CLG. Struggles versus like Cloud9 though, man. This team, I don't know if you guys know, they never beat Cloud9. And I don't know why it is. Like, they definitely should be able to take maps off them sometimes. Like, they literally get crushed by Cloud9 every single time they play them. It might have to go back to, like, them idolizing nothing in 1.6 or something like that. And it's just, like, they just can't get over this hurdle for whatever reason. And I don't think it's, like, a talent disparity, really. I think they're a pretty good team, and they have good players. Like, they should definitely be able to beat Cloud9 every once in a while. But, I mean, this is going back for a long-ass time. This is not just the Skadoodle Shroud Cloud9, you know, or Skadoodle Freakazoid Cloud9. This goes back for a long time. They just cannot beat them. It's a little off topic, a little bit off a tangent there, but whatever. Okay, next best player is JDM in my opinion. And the reason JDM is lower is because, yeah, his op's really good. Problem with JDM is his consistency, though. His consistency is really poor. Excuse me. Not necessarily his consistency. Like, he's good with the op, but it is consistency, but it's more his versatility. He's a good opper, but he really can like only op. His rifle isn't anything to brag home about. It's not really upper level play, you know, ready, in my opinion. Like, it's not like, you know, if he's going to consistently get in gun battles with a rifle, he's probably going to lose them most of the time. His pistol's not that great either. So what happens is, if you're not versatile enough to use multiple guns, it can hurt your consistency sometimes, because your entire team is so used to you opping and making this level of impact with your op, and then when you get money fucked and you don't have that op and you can't make those plays, it completely changes like your defense on CT side and also how you attack on T side, which not necessarily is consistency for his point of view. Like, he's actually a pretty consistent player despite his sensitivity and his settings and how he plays, which is very surprising. But the consistency that he brings upon the team, right? Because he doesn't have this second gear that he could go to where he can pick up a rifle and he knows how to do these things with a rifle to, you know, that his team has practiced a lot, and be comfortable with it and make his whole team comfortable. Because it's not just about him being comfortable. He might be decently comfortable with a rifle and playing CT side with a rifle and T side with a rifle and things like that. But his team as a whole, I guarantee you, is not nearly as comfortable when he has a rifle as when he has an op. And I think that's a problem. So, another thing about JDM is he plays very strange. He plays like the most casual gamer you've seen in your life. It's very strange. I've never seen anybody play like this as like a professional player. I mean, he makes it work. You know, he's obviously a good player, but I do think that if he had a different posture and had different settings, he might be better. It would definitely help with his rifles and pistols. But it's one of those things where it might just be too late for that. You know, he's at this point, he's at this level, and it might be, you know, not worth it for him to change. But he uses a very high sensitivity, and he plays like this. Like, he's super lean back like this. Like, it kind of looks like if I was playing like Xbox, you know, like if I'm playing my PS4, you know, I'm chilling like this, I'm chilling back like this, right? That's how I'm gaming. Like, I'm literally like just relaxing, blah 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 blah. It's seriously how I game when I play PS4, and he's playing like that when he's playing Counter-Strike, which is so different, right? So his posture is very strange. I don't know if this affects him as a player. I don't know if he'd be better with better posture. If you watch all the good players, like all the really good players, most of them have a straight back, you know, straight back, arms generally. Usually your shoulders are back a little bit, and you just play like this. This is usually how like all the best players play. And your arms kind of on, your arm and your wrist are kind of on like a swivel almost, right? You're just like boom, 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 boom. It's kind of like that. With him, it's more like this, and he's just like that. That's how he plays. And if you think about it, it's pretty logical, right? If you're Guardian or you're Skedoodle and you use sensitivity 1.3 or 1.4, you know, and your margin of error for if you're going to hit the guy on a flick shot is much more than someone like JDM, who's only using his wrist and has high sensitivity, right? So think about it like this. If your margin of error of hitting someone with AWP is their body width of the model, and then however much correlates that to your mouse pad, you know, maybe Guardian, Skedoodle, I think they use 1.3 and 1.4 cents, have like a millimeter margin of error, let's say. And JDM uses like over double that, so maybe his margin of error is half a millimeter, or maybe a third of a millimeter, right? So if that margin of error is much lower, you know, it's, you know, obviously when you're using an AWP, it can definitely hurt, because you only have that one shot a lot of the time. If you miss that shot, you're fucked a lot of the time, right? But anyways, that's a little bit on JDM. Those other thoughts are kind of like my own thoughts. They're not necessarily true or not. I don't know if this posture could be holding them back of playing super casually. I don't know. Just kind of something I theorize about. Next, we have FNS, who's been their leader this entire time. They've been a team for the past 3 years. He made this team. He's been with Cutler the entire time. And they've had a bunch of different roster iterations, but this core has been stable for a while now. FNS is more of like, he plays a lot of the rotator spots on, well, he plays rotator on Inferno, Dust 2 he plays long, Mirage he plays like Catwalk and B with Tarek, and they kind of switch off sometimes of who's playing where on that. And him, the problem with him is he plays pretty smart. He doesn't play dumb or anything like that. Decent communication. Probably says a little bit too much sometimes about certain things, like panic calls a little bit and gives wrong info from the VODs I've watched of them. But as a player, he's pretty good. The problem with him is he seems almost very nervous, and he has a very shaky and jerky aim and movements. So if you want to be good at Counter-Strike and you want to be good at aiming and killing people, you want to have pixel by pixel like accuracy, right? You want to be smooth, man. Like, you want to just flow like water, or like be smooth, you know, just, you know, like you want to be able to control pixel by pixel by pixel. And then you want to be able to rely on flick shots and things like that and those jerky movements every once in a while. But generally you want to be smooth and very in control. And he doesn't have that control. He definitely doesn't have that level of control. And I don't know if it's because he gets nervous on LAN or something like that, or if, I haven't watched him play online, so I don't know if it's the same. But it almost looks like the nerves get to him a little bit, and he becomes very, very shaky and very jerky, where he's like this instead of just nice, smooth, you know, like your arms on a swivel again. So that's honestly his biggest problem. He just doesn't kill people that well. Seriously. I mean, in simple terms, he just doesn't kill people that well, and he doesn't aim that great. As a player, he plays pretty intelligent. He does a lot of the right plays a lot of the time, and you can see his stats aren't bad or anything. But if he had better aim, his stats would be a lot better, and they'd be a better team. I guarantee it, like a much better team, because he really doesn't get many like big rounds because of it. Because usually when he kills people, it's not a smooth kill. It's usually like he's spraying down 10, 12 bullets, and then he gets traded right after. You know, so he doesn't have that big play capability because of that. Because he's not killing people quickly on the first guy, and then he's able to transfer the second guy, kill him, and then maybe get away or something like that. He usually kills the first guy, kind of raunchy kill, pretty kill, and then gets killed afterwards. So that's a brief overview of them as players. Now we're going to get into the demo analysis, and we're going to talk about what each individual team does. On another side note, though, it seems like these guys always play the French very well. They play Titan and Envy very well. They're good against these group of players, but they're also very bad against all these other teams. Like, they never really beat NIP. They never really beat like any of these other European teams. It seems like they only perform against the French. They lost to SK. They lost to Renegades. They lose to Keydstars. They lose to like all these teams, but they always play the French really well. So that's a side note. But anyways, let's get into the demo review and analysis. I know you guys have been waiting for it. Okay, now let's get into it. So, Tarek has a really good spawn here, and I guarantee you, knowing Tarek, he was the one saying, let me push, let me push, let me push, let me push halls. But the problem is, this probably isn't their normal pistol, like having him do this, and they have no follow-up play. So Hazed takes his spot, and they basically essentially do a default setup with Tarek rushing the halls, and then Hazed is just like, okay, well, I'll just go B, since that's his normal spot, and he has like a smoke flash nade, right? So he pushes down, but as you can see, there's no plan B. Like, it's just, the problem with this is, what do you do when Tarek dies here, which he does die? Like, what? How come there's no follow-up? There's nothing like that. Now, what would have happened if maybe someone like Hazed, who has the nades, threw a deep smoke at middle? Right? And maybe had someone peek window, like Cutler peek window, and a smoke down here, so it looked like they were pushing all. Maybe it would have set Tarek up for better success instead of having him just on like this solo mission to either just win or lose the round, most likely himself. Now, CLG actually makes a really, really good adjustment here, and I love stuff like this. Are you really gonna win the round if you're playing like a 2-2 default setup here? Probably not. So they say, okay, well, let's take a chance. JDM, come over to B. We're going to have 3B. Cutler's going to be Moto. If they go A, yeah, we're probably going to fucking lose the round. But there's a really good chance that they don't go A and they go B, and then we could definitely win the round. So Cutler's here. He's in Moto. He doesn't know if they're rapping when he sees this guy rap towards him or if they're going towards B. Definitely a kill he could have gotten a little bit earlier, but that's okay. And now JDM gets pulled into the arch because this guy's in the arch, and they have a 3B setup. This is like perfect. This is exactly what you want to do in any type of 4v5 scenario where you're really heavily unfavored, or just any scenario where you're unfavored. You want to just take risks that could potentially win you the round. Okay, so JDM's here. He's posted on spawn because that guy was able to make it in the arch, and then they hit B. Cutler's able to get that kill, and then JDM gets overran right here. Gets one and dies. And FNS dies there. So let's talk about how that should have went down. Okay, here's how they should have held this. Hazed spots, backs off Spindle, and then throws a grenade. Perfect. Does not repeat here. He should not be repeaking there. Okay. FNS should be peeking the crack. And then kill one that's crossing. After FNS kills one that's crossing, FNS should hide until Hazed gets the next kill on them pushing him, and Hazed would be around here. So Hazed basically watches them push him, and then FNS watches this and makes sure that nobody pushes Hazed. That's what should happen. JDM, on your own, bro. You're spawned, get as many kills as you can, did good nade damage, but had they done that and they had those nades proper like that, they probably would have won the round. So Hazed re-peeking too aggressively there. Okay, he wants to throw that nade, maybe peek in and out 1 to 2 shots, hide, and then bait like that. That's how you properly play a tri-box spindle setup, especially when they don't have any nades or smokes. Okay, now we're taking a look at what FNS is doing. Really poor spot by him here. He's never going to get the headshot here, and Hazed is already spotting, so what's the point of him peeking that angle? Like, it's just bad. Him peeking there, he's making it very easy for them to headshot him. He should have been peeking the crack. He could have easily gotten a kill while they crossed. It's a pretty easy shot here. You know they're looking spawn, they're looking spindle, so most likely nobody's going to come around the corner and just headshot you. So essentially what you want to do is, both Hazed and FNS, Hazed wants to take contact, make them look at him with JDM. JDM's going to die 100% in that situation. FNS is supposed to get the free kill while they're all looking at him. Then Hazed is supposed to maybe get a kill here, but it's not necessary. Generally get the next kill while they're pushing tri-box, and then FNS can peek and get the next kill after that. And just play off each other like that and almost take turns. That's what you want to do in that situation. Going into the second round, this might just be a philosophical difference, but I hate playing like this. They play completely standard, essentially. Like, they have a double porch almost, but JDM's over here at Arch with a USB. I mean, most of the time when people take anti-ecos on T side, they either hit Arch or they hit Banana, right? In this case, they sent Happy to scout Arch while 4 went B. Why would you have your USP at like the most heavily contested spot, right? Like, JDM is going to kill Happy there like maybe 1 out of every like 15, 20 times or something like that. He literally has like a 5% chance of killing him. He needs to literally run out of the corner and double down. And he has a Mag 10 flying full speed, 30 bullets automatic. Once he aim punches you once, you're dead. So, really poor. Now, what if instead of that, they had JDM with just USP and a nade right here or something? They did this stack. Those two were Arch. Maybe they had smokes or something. As soon as they started shooting them, JDM threw a nade. JDM would have killed those two and probably been like a 3v1 versus MVK here or something like that. So, obviously hindsight is completely 2020, but I just think philosophically speaking, why would you ever play a default setup when all you have are like 5.7s and armor and they out utility you and outgun you? You know, your chances of winning the round are so low. It's more like you want to take a chance, kind of like they did in that pistol round. You want to take a chance, and then if that chance works, you could win the round. So yeah, I don't agree with doing that at all. Something I want to point out that is like a super noob move right here by JDM and Tark as well is buying head armor. There's almost no reason to buy head armor. It's like very rarely is this head armor going to make any impact on the round. It's way better if JDM just had a smoke. Same with Cutler too. Like, all three of them make this mistake, and you're just wasting money. Like, especially on a smoke grenade. Smoke grenade is so much more important than having head armor. Like, a $300 grenade essentially can delay a team 15 seconds. Like, him using a smoke grenade at B from Arches could single-handedly win a round. You know, will contribute greatly towards winning a round. Just a pretty annoying mistake that I do want to point out. Alright, so here comes the 4th round. They did a really good job the 3rd round and the 2nd round of getting a lot of kills. So, if they win this round, and they could be on like a low buy, you know, they'll probably have like 3 AKs, a couple shit pistols. And JDM does a really good job here. He gets his collateral, but he still does something that irks me a little bit. He goes, and Envy's going to do this strat that these French teams have been doing for the past like 2 years, where they basically do like a 5-man smoke. They're going to smoke the arch, they're going to smoke the library, you're going to see he's going to get a little collateral there, they're going to smoke the pit, and they're going to smoke porch. So it's basically like a 5-man smoke strat, right? Now, Hazed plays this a little bit strange. Probably didn't play it properly, because right there he could have died. Okay? He knows they could be wrapping. JDM's in library. You should be telling him that they could be wrapping. So Hazed plays this a little bit poorly. He ends up getting bailed out because JDM, kind of like an idiot, jumps to that library, and he's able to get that kill. And then Cutler's able to kill Apex, climbing along that wall. So Cutler played that like super proper, but Hazed actually played that a little bit bad. So what you want to do if you're Hazed there is, first off, you never want to use all 20 bullets here, because there's a good chance that someone just goes through here, underhands a flash, and goes to this porch smoke, okay? Second off, you either want to like stand to the porch, or when you come here, you want to fight right here. As soon as you kill one, look towards porch, right? Or you could even just completely leave porch and go to arch as well. That's an option too. But kind of like shooting all your bullets here and then being open right here could be pretty disastrous for multiple reasons, right? They could underhand the smoke, snacks the smoke, flash, kill Hazed, or this guy could run over here and kill him, especially with that smoke of the pit. So I just want to show you guys something real quick. They go and they push B. It's great. Envy gets on a double eco because they got so many. They got killed so many rounds. CLG got so many kills on their anti-eco. And FNS plays this great, man. Like, he's playing it good. He sees that they're coming. He runs away. He throws a good flash and pool. But I'm telling you, this is all nerves right here. Gets that 1 kill. That's great. You'd figure like this might be one of those rounds where he gets like a 3K, you know? Look at that. Like, how many times is he going to unsilence his pull and stuff like that, right? And I'm telling you, this is all nerves. Just nerves. I guarantee you, when he's like online and stuff like that, that does not happen. That's his nerves getting the best of him. He needs to calm himself down. He needs to focus on just breathing and just being smooth and just not so herky-jerky and just being, you know, able to just glide your mouse and smoothly aim at them and not freaking out and like right-clicking on stuff. It's gonna happen sometimes where you're gonna like accidentally unsilence your Colt or like accidentally double scope or accidentally jump or something like that. But you know, I watched this whole demo, and there's a lot of places where I could tell his nerves are definitely getting the best of him. This round right here is almost a perfect round by CLG. And this is exactly how you want to play CT side Inferno. So they throw an end to B smoke, so it takes Envy forever to get into their strats, and then they basically just save like all their nades. Envy retakes B control, and they do a B fake into an A strat. But look what happens. They take middle control, they go back to B, they throw some smokes on B, nobody over rotates, right? Because they're like perfectly set up at B here. They have 2 Molotovs, Tarek still has a smoke and a Molotov and a flash. Like, these guys are not going to take B. Yeah, that was kind of a dumb Molotov FNS, but anyways, they go back to A, Hazed plays it like perfectly. JDM with 15 seconds left, he doesn't have to worry about the wrap. So what happens? He's off the porch, gets that kill, he throws a molly porch afterwards. Like, there's almost no way Envy is going to win this round when it plays out like this. It's just not going to happen. Like, when there's 35 seconds left and you have like 4 Molotovs and a smoke grenade and like some flashes, it's just never going to work. So CLG just played like a really, really good Inferno around there. That's what you want to do on CT side Inferno. So I want to talk about this round real quick and want to talk about Apex's reaction here. And this is actually what you want to do. They push B and they get in gun battles at B. They're probably pretty sure there's 3B. And so what does he do? He comes out and he tries to make a fucking play, right? That's because Tarek killed Kenny S. So what are your best chances of winning this round? JDM just kind of whiffed him there, I think. But what are your best chances of winning this round? Your best chances of winning this round, if that guy dies, is if you see an opening to make a play, you should do it. Happy kind of messes up a little bit here because they should have an idea that there's 3B, and as soon as he should try to get this kill in the pit. If he gets this kill in the pit, they probably win the round. Instead, he's playing like a little bit too passive here. It's not really like, he doesn't 100% know they're 3B, but they could have a pretty good idea that they had 3B. And I think Kenny S should have been able to tell that they had 3B based off like the nades and whatnot that they were seeing and the action that they were seeing. So I do think Happy misplayed that a little bit, but then CLG is playing this like perfectly. Like there's 30 seconds left. Their B hold is looking great. Like he has 30 health, so what does he do? He gets on the first oranges, which is perfect. FNS is basically gonna make sure he gets his 1 kill from Tri-Box right after this guy gets one. Tarek gets his kill, he drops down. It's almost like guaranteed kill every time. FNS gets that kill, and then Apex is here with like 10 up. And JDM gets that. So I think that's a misplay by Happy. I think after Apex gets aggressive like that, you should have Happy aggressive as well, basically. This hold by Tarek here is actually like insanely good. Like gets 2 in the well, gets a 3rd PO, stays alive forever, gets a fucking 4th. Like Jesus, man, what a fucking hold. And that's why he's like one of the best solo side players in the game. I just want to show this again. Look at how like much JDM helped there. Even though he missed that shot, him just shooting and giving them like all this attention that they're looking at him and then dropping that molly so that they have to just keep running forward and can't stop helps so fucking much, especially on land. Molotovs on CT Inferno on land are just god mode because people just have to run through them, and the visibility you have seen behind this wall is so fucking difficult when you're running through a smoke usually, and then through a Molotov with all the fire and just doing damage is like insane. So I just want to point that out too. This is the round, man. This is the round that just kills me, dude. Like JDM, come on, bro. First off, he's played Arch every single round so far. But this is the thing. It's 4v5. As soon as he whiffs that and he has 30 health, come on, bro. Don't re-peek, man. They have deagles. They have no nades. It's a low buy. You could give up spawn. Who gives a flying fuck if they get in spawn? You know what's going to happen if they get in spawn? One of the CTs is going to go try box and rape them. Look, he has even another chance to hide and not repeak. And what does he do? He repeats 3 different times. And then Apex kills him. And I 100% guarantee you, he had like 5 seconds to think to not repeat there. If he would have just gone in the goddamn site and just hid, they would have won this round. But instead, Apex gets this op after he kills him. Cutler's repeating too much there too. Happy comes out of the halls and kills Hazed, and then Apex kills Cutler, and then they look at how fucking quick shit goes bad in Counter-Strike, man. That's just how fucking Counter-Strike is, dude. Can't make those mistakes against these fucking players like Apex and Happy and fucking MBK and all that shit. Can't. Because they'll fucking punish you for it, man. And that was a huge mistake by JDM. So this is a really unfortunate round for CLG to lose. They have a very good chance of winning this round. They're set up really well positionally, but they don't utilize their utility well here at all. And they also, Cutler gets a little bit too anxious here and over peaks. So I'm going to show you guys what happens. Enemy takes a very, very fast mid control. 20 seconds into the round, they already have a mid control. Very difficult to deal with as CT side, especially if you play that CLG playstyle where you try to bait nades out, etc. But look at all their nades. And he sees that molly come from halls and he hears them in halls here. So what should Cutler have done here? Well, what he should have done is he should have immediately called for nades. Like he should have either thrown his Molotov towards porch or smoked out halls or something. Hazed, I believe, throws his Molotov in just a second here. He does, but he gets over anxious here and he peeks right here. And you never want to peek, and it's not even because of these porch guys. The reason he never wants to peek out this far is because of the hall guy. Even if he gets this kill, this hall guy is going to kill him every single time. So that was just a mistake by him. He knew that guy was in halls, and you never want to, like, if you're on this balcony, you never want to go to like this area unless this is smoked out. And they had so much utility that they just didn't utilize there, which is a little disappointing because had they used their utility, I almost guarantee you they would have won that round. Anytime NVS comes up, anytime any team comes up porch and halls with no smokes and no flashes, and you have an op or moto, a guy site with a Molotov, a smoke flash, and a guy balcony with smoke Molotov flash, like, you should win that round. So a pretty decent half by CLG. They lose a dumb round at the end where they double play arch side, and then they jump out halls and porch and just take A. So it ends up 9-6. Definitely should have been like a 9-4 half at best, I think, or 10-5. They definitely should have had double digits. It should have been 10 or 11 rounds as CLG should have. Now let's watch as CLG just basically does a B rush. And look at Happy fucked up here. He actually, I don't fault him for the way he played it, like letting them run by, killing the 5th guy, maintaining bandana control. That's completely fine. Because the hitboxes are pretty tough to hit a lot of the time if you're shooting people in the back of the head. But damn, he kind of messed that one up. And that pretty much ruined the round for Envy there pretty hard. So now we're going to watch perfect play by Envious on this anti-eco of exactly what I was talking about earlier. You trade, right? You let one person peek and take contact and then hide, and then the next person gets the kill, and then that person can kind of jiggle, and then the next person gets the kill, and then finally that person can repeat, and you just take turns, right? And we're going to see them execute it perfectly here with Envious at B. Now CLG, if they would have taken a page out of Envious's book here and actually had the person that died on the second round, you know, I think 1 or 2 people died. If they would have just Okay, they actually had 3 people die. So if they would have just bought a Mac 10 here instead of AKs, it doesn't really make much sense to get these AKs here because they pistol armored, right? They're not going to have head armor. They're just going to have like USPs and stuff. So you could easily have someone buy a Mac 10 and scout, which is what you should always do in these scenarios. Instead, they kind of go up top mid, they don't see anything, and they still go back to B. And bam. Look at this. When Cage runs here, doesn't even know where he dies to. Cutler sees one there, dies. That happens. JDM's like completely stuck. They decide to run away. Who's here? Happy's in a really good spot to possibly kill them on the way back, but he misses. But then Kiyoshima is the fucking hero here and wins this round. So just that's exactly what you want to do when you get in that stack. You know, you let one person get the kill, you let the next one get the kill, and so on and so forth. So just perfect play there by Envious as an entire team. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good round to break down. There's a couple things I want to talk about here. Yeah, Kenny S did something sick, okay? Like, he got killed, but it was still pretty sick. Apex came here to try to even it up. He goes to here, and then he flashes over, and then peeks here. I don't really like those type of plays just because, like, I don't feel like you have to challenge the opper to win the round when you have completely fully bought AKs, head armor, flashes, smokes, molotovs. Every single person on the CT side is fully bought with, you know, a combined like 20k left over. So I don't really agree with that. But the thing that I really don't like from CLG here, and I think a lot of teams need to learn from, and it happens so much on Dust too, but it happens in Inferno a lot as well, is they go to A, and they see the guys in pit, and they decide, okay, we're not going to challenge the guy pit. Well, if you're not going to challenge the guy pit, then what you want to do is you want to kill the rotators, right? But instead, they all go to try to like plant the bomb, essentially. Look at where all 5 of them are, right? There's one guy porch. There's 3 guys taking sight from Moto. They know the guy's pit. This 4th guy comes as well. Why that 4th guy is coming, I don't know. What's better here to do is you see the guys in pit. You just wait for him to come out. And then what you do is you just kill the arch guys. You just kill the rotators. It's as simple as that. You kill these guys when they're coming out of here. It is very easy to kill these guys when they're coming out of here. If JDM, for instance, I don't know why he's wrapping with an off and going into sight. It makes no sense. You never want an opper there. Had JDM, for instance, had 3 wrapping, 1 porch, him watching the B flank and then coming here and watching their arch and library, it's the easiest kills. Instead, they lose 4 people. They almost lose the round. I'll show it again exactly what happened. They almost lose the round, all because they think it takes 5 people to plant the bomb. And that's like a very big pet peeve of mine, kind of. Right? So, kind of harping on it a little bit. Watch from Kiyoshima's point of view. Oh, wow, this is not the right round. We'll go back to that. Sorry about that. A little bit of a blunder there. Okay, here we go. Fast forward it. And they take the risk. They like keep 2B. But yeah, for some reason JDM's wrapping into the site, entering with an off, and has the bomb. Doesn't make much sense to me. Kiyoshima gets that kill. These guys get out of library freely for some reason without people just breaking them, which is super easy kills for the T's. And then Kiyo gets another kill. K gets one. Kiyo gets another one. If that nade would have landed, they would have won that round. Or any of these jumping pistols. Instead, none of them do. I want to show you guys something really quick, and that is how Kenny S reacts to this shot. He goes, he's arch side, he's jiggle peeking, and he throws a smoke for them, right? He gets smoked out on arch. He sees they're not doing anything lane yet. He's just spamming a little bit. He probably lingers about here a little bit too much, like he should have fell right after he did that spam. He goes and he sees that it's an A-take. They're calling that there's smokes over there. So what does he do? He rushes into sight. Now they have to fight 3 people. Okay? And then he lets Happy pick up the arch. So instead of just watching the arch and not helping your team, you let the B rotator watch the arch, and it's essentially like they're fighting 4 people at A. That's how you want to react to it, and that's what you want to do. Okay, so this round is the final round that CLG is going to win. They end up losing this match 16-13. But one thing that's good for them is that they did not let like Kenny S go off at all. Like Kenny S did like nothing against them. JDM outpicked him. He pretty much dominated him every time they had a duel. Kenny S, you see, he gets like really aggro here. Cutler just stomps on him. I mean, he did not have a good game. But one thing about Envy that they're really good at is winning these 4v5s. So what do they do here? You see, they don't throw anything at middle. They throw no. They have this one smoke that Keo threw, and then they're saving all 3 of their smokes for B to try to force them to A, and that's exactly what you want to do. And then Apex, actually, this is like a smart molly. Usually I don't like mollying this just to delay them, but the reason he's doing this is so that Happy could get back and spawn, re-smoke their banana entrance, and then MBK has a 3rd smoke at B. And if they don't hit A by the time that this guy's smoke dissipates over there, you almost know 100% that they're hitting B, essentially. So they do a really good job of forcing you into doing what you don't want to do. And they honestly should have won this round. Happy should have got that kill on Cutler. He just doesn't for whatever reason. And then he does a really good job here, and he plays it very, very smart. Okay? Remember what I was talking about, where when they're in pit, it's better most of the time to just like kill the rotators. Well, Cutler learned from his mistake from last time, and they don't have everybody go to site. It's an easy lurk kill on MBK, and then they're in a 3v1. This guy's stuck in the pit, and this is like a super hard clutch to win when the bomb's sticking down like this. Like, what do you do here? Keo's case died to Hazed. But anyways, so that was a pretty good round of showing CLG, you know, winning the 4v5, but also of Envy, and how they force you to go into like a trap essentially, but with their nades. So they force you to go where they want you to go. And honestly, Envy definitely could have won that round. Envy just makes like a perfect read right here in the perfect time. They basically do a triple port setup, and this spot that Keo's gonna go in, I fucking love. Like, you're never gonna die here, dude. Like, honestly, just not gonna happen. That guy peeks boiler, you're gonna kill him every single time. So they pull out the perfect setup to stomp CLG right here. You know, JDM comes, he smokes the arches, and they try to do a mid take, and they just get pretty stomped. And they make mid look like pretty appetizing too, you know? Like, it doesn't look like they probably have a triple port setup. All they're doing is like throwing like a 1 smoke. They're not making any noise or anything like that. So it's pretty nice here. And yeah, trying to drive peek mid like that, never gonna work against a triple porch. Ever. And just an easy B hold and round's over. Okay, so after that, you know, CLG's money was absolute shit, and they end up force mine and losing 16-13. But this is a very, very winnable game from CLG's point of view. If you remember, they lost the anti-eco on their T side when Kiyoshima had the nice rotate towards A, and he won that round. Had that not happened, and had they not lost the round where they double upped arch, and Cutler got swarmed from halls and porch, you know, and they didn't make that pretty poor call, then they probably would have won this game. Honestly. So, or at least force overtime. I mean, that would be, you know, probably 3 rounds because, you know, of money implications. So, CLG played them pretty damn well. What you should definitely take away from this demo, though, is how utilization of your nades can basically win rounds for you on Inferno and make it so easy, right? Using the Molotovs, using the smokes, and I think CLG and how they were playing Banana and how Envy plays Banana as well, and how they force you into doing what you probably don't want to do and force you into their stacks is a really good example of this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. This has been Daze from NetcodeGuides.com. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.